Remember that adorable baby Sandra Bullock adopted back in 2010? Well, he's not so little anymore. Bardo Bullock is now a teenager, and his life story is incredible. From orphan to Hollywood royalty, Louis' journey has been a roller coaster of emotions. But here's the twist. While most celebrity kids can't stay off social media, Louis is nowhere to be seen. What's the real reason behind his absence from the spotlight? We've got the inside scoop. Sandra Bullock had it all. A successful acting career, fame and fortune, but something was missing, and she couldn't quite put her finger on it. Then, Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans in 2005, leaving destruction in its wake. Surprisingly, Sandra felt an unexplainable pull towards the city. It was like New Orleans was calling out to her. As Sandra watched the news reports, a thought started to form in her mind. Could this be the sign she'd been waiting for? Should she become a mother? The idea of adoption began to take root, and Sandra decided to take the plunge. She started the adoption process in 2006 while still married to Jesse James. But it wasn't easy, even for a Hollywood star. Sandra faced a tough journey that lasted about 4 years. During this time, she had her moments of doubt. She even said, "The beautiful thing that I was constantly told was, the perfect child will find you. You will find your child." Just when things couldn't get more complicated, Sandra's marriage to Jesse James fell apart due to his infidelity. The news went public right after Louis was adopted. Can you imagine dealing with a failing marriage while caring for a newborn? But Sandra didn't let any of this stop her. She finalized the adoption of Louis as a single parent after separating from Jesse. And when she first met Louis, it was like magic. Sandra described it perfectly. "I looked at him and I just said, 'Oh, there you are.' It's like he had always been there." After years of waiting, baby Louis finally arrived in Sandra's life. But this wasn't the end of her journey as a mom. Sandra had no idea of the challenges and joys that lay ahead. She even said, "I'm so glad the universe had me wait." Who would have thought that a hurricane would lead Sandra to her son? It just goes to show that sometimes life has plans for us that we could never imagine. And for Sandra and Louis, this was just the start of their story together. Sandra Bullock's son, Louis, is nothing like your typical Hollywood kid. While most star children flaunt their lavish lifestyles on social media, Louis is nowhere to be found online. Sandra has been determined to give Louis a normal childhood from day one. She's kept him out of the public eye, rarely sharing photos and avoiding paparazzi hotspots. It's like she's created a bubble of normalcy in the midst of all the glitz and glamour. But here's where things get really interesting. Sandra's a white woman raising a black son in America, and that comes with its own set of challenges. She's had to navigate some pretty tricky waters, especially when it comes to teaching Louis about racism. Sandra's been open about how tough it is, saying, "I let him see everything. He knows how the world works. He knows how cruel it is. He knows how unfair it is." It's heartbreaking to think about, isn't it? But it's not all heavy stuff in the Bullock household. Louis's upbringing is as unique as they come. He goes to private school like many celebrity kids, but get this, he's also a self-proclaimed crazy foodie with a passion for cooking. At just 10 years old, he's whipping up mocktails and even trying his hand at making bubble tea and deep frying various foods. Can you imagine the dinner conversations at their house? As Louis grows older, the bond between him and Sandra just keeps getting stronger. She's described him as super sensitive and wise, even joking that he's like her 78-year-old son because of how mature and insightful he is. He even gives her career advice. It's like having a tiny life coach living under your roof. But despite their close relationship, Sandra noticed something was missing. Then, out of the blue, 3-year-old Louis announced that he wanted a sister. And that's when Sandra realized her family wasn't complete yet. There was still room for one more. So there you have it. Louis Bullock might be growing up in Hollywood, but he's far from your typical star kid. From mocktail mixing to giving life advice, he's carving out his own unique path. And with Sandra by his side, navigating the challenges of fame and race, it's clear that this mother-son duo is ready to take on whatever comes their way. But the story doesn't end here. There's still more to come for the Bullock family. Who else could be joining their little clan? Sandra Bullock's family journey took an unexpected turn when she decided to adopt again, this time from the foster care system. Enter Lila, a little girl who had already been through 3 different foster homes before her 3rd birthday. Sandra knew she had to be prepared for the challenges ahead. Lila came with her own set of quirks from her time in foster care. The poor thing would sometimes hide in closets, seeking safety in small spaces. Sandra was determined to show Lila that she finally had a forever home, no matter what it took. Raising Lila turned out to be a whole new adventure for Sandra. It was totally different from raising Louis, like learning a whole new parenting language. But the best part? Louis and Lila hit it off right away, forming an unbreakable sibling bond. Sandra's family was complete, but the challenges were far from over. The world was dying to get a glimpse of Sandra's kids, but she wasn't having any of it. She became fiercely protective of their privacy, keeping them out of the spotlight as much as possible. But sometimes, you just can't avoid the public eye completely. In 2020, during the pandemic, Lila made a rare appearance on TV. She thanked essential workers during Sandra's virtual interview. It was just a quick moment, but it showed how much Lila had grown and how well she was adjusting to her new life. Sandra's not shy about praising her kids, though. She's called Lila a fighter who's unafraid and believes she'll be president one day. Talk about high hopes. But with Sandra as a mom, who knows what these kids might achieve? So there you have it. Sandra Bullock's family is now complete with Louis and Lila. It wasn't an easy journey, but Sandra wouldn't have it any other way. She's proof that families come in all shapes and sizes, and love is what really matters. Sandra Bullock's kids are growing up fast, and you won't believe it. Louis, once a tiny baby, is now a towering 15-year-old who's taller than his famous mom. Time really flies. Sandra's taken a huge step back from acting to focus on her family. She's put her Hollywood career on pause to be there for Louis and Lila. She even said, "I'd rather look at them every day and have them be mad at me and annoyed and make memories with them for right now." That's some serious dedication. Raising 2 teenagers in the public eye isn't easy. Sandra's got to deal with paparazzi, nosy fans, and the constant pressure of being a celebrity mom. It's like trying to keep a normal life in a fishbowl, but the Bullock household isn't all glitz and glamour. Sandra's got a unique way of doing things. She only gives her kids 3 gifts each at Christmas. It's all about teaching them gratitude and keeping them grounded. Louis isn't just growing in height, he's got a personality to match his new stature. Sandra's described him as super sensitive and wise beyond his years. He's even giving his mom career advice. Layla's not far behind in the personality department. At 11 years old, she's already showing signs of being a future leader. Sandra thinks she could be president one day. Despite all the challenges, Sandra wouldn't change a thing. She's embraced every part of motherhood, from teaching her kids about their racial identities to navigating the tricky waters of Hollywood fame. What's next for the Bullock family? Will Louis hit the big screen? Will Lila make her way to the White House? Or will they choose completely different paths? We can't wait to see what happens next. Louis Bardo Bullock's story is truly one for the books. From a baby in New Orleans to the son of Hollywood royalty, this kid's journey has been extraordinary. But here's the thing. Louis isn't your typical star kid. He's growing up away from the limelight, and that's just how Sandra wants it. What's next for Louis and his sister Lila? Only time will tell. But one thing's clear. These kids have a bright future ahead. With Sandra in their corner, they're ready for whatever life throws their way. Sandra's words say it all. We're very lucky that we get to choose what our family looks like. And what a beautiful family she's created. Louis and Lila might not be in the public eye, but they've changed Sandra's life forever. As she puts it, you're a forever parent the minute you accept the love of that child. That's the real Hollywood ending. A family bound by love, not blood.